Good evening everyone. So it's Saturday and it's time for a live class of economics in this channel again. I welcome all of you back to our channel where we discuss on every Saturday about various topics of economics from both micro, macro as well as statistical economics and Indian economics. When I say, like in every class, my introduction is always focused on the plan that when we bring about any of the topics like this, components of government budget, revenue receipt and capital receipt, these actually belongs to macroeconomics part. And like I say it every day before doing the class, for any topic that we bring for macroeconomics or microeconomics for class 12th or 11th, I repeatedly say that these topics are as well important for other government examination where economics is incorporated into the syllabus. Therefore, I welcome everyone who is enthusiastic to learn about economics in this class. I welcome everyone who is enthusiastic to learn economics apart from those students who are appearing for class 12 board examination across different boards. I welcome every one of you to learn with me the today's topic, which is components of government budget, revenue receipt and capital receipt. This is one of the important topic where repeatedly questions are asked in various board examination, as well where economics is incorporated as the syllabus, be it any government examination. Also for those students who are appearing or is preparing for giving NTA economics examination, for those students who are enthusiastic to apply for CUET, UG or PG, this is actually an important topic for every one of you to view. So let's start today's class with great zeal and enthusiasm, and I hope tumalukor pora we will receive positive feedback so that we can bring these kind of live sessions often. So let's start today's class with great zeal and enthusiasm and understand what is government budget first before diving into what is revenue receipt and capital receipt in details. ठीक আছে? So to start with, let us understand what is government budget. আমি যেটা government budget বুলি কও, what is actually a government budget? So government budget is nothing but it is actually an annual statement. And what does this annual statement shows? This annual statement shows item wise how much government has received from various sources and item wise how much government has spent in a particular fiscal year is reflected in this annual statement, and this annual statement is nothing but government budget. Fine. I hope you are clear with the idea of what is government budget. I hope you are clear with the idea of what is government budget. So what is government budget? It is just an annual statement showing item wise how much government has received and spent on various items in a particular fiscal year. ठीक है? So once we understand about government budget, now let us understand what are the various components of government budget. It is the components of the government budget can be actually divided into two heads. The first head is revenue budget and the second head is the capital budget. Now what is revenue budget? Revenue budget is nothing but it deals with the revenue aspect of the government. When I say revenue aspect of the government, it actually deals with how much revenue has government earned from various sources is included in revenue budget. Not only how much government has earned from the revenue, but it also deals with how much government has spent from what it has earned as revenue is also included in revenue budget. So basically it is how much government has earned and has government spent from revenue is discussed or is incorporated in revenue budget. Therefore, আমি যেটা revenue budget বুলি কওঁ ইয়াক দুটা পাৰ্টত ডিভাইড কৰা হৈছে এটা হৈছে revenue receipt কিমানখিনি revenue পৰা receive কৰিছে আৰু নেক্সটটো হৈছে revenue expenditure. Out of the revenue receipt, how much has government spent is actually captured by revenue expenditure. ঠিক আছে similarly the second juntu component of government budget hoy that is capital budget. Now the capital budget is again the budget that deals with the capital aspect of the government. Again, what is capital aspect of the government? Here either government has earned something through borrowing or it has actually earned something from selling one of its asset. It is said to be as capital receipt. Whereas it is capital receipt, how much government has spent out of this capital receipt is captured by the idea of capital expenditure. Although the government, so when we talk about capital budget, it consists of capital receipt and capital expenditure. Now, what we are going to discuss in today's class will be specific to what is tomar revenue receipt and what is revenue capital receipt. ঠিক আছে how what we will in today's class we will discuss about revenue receipt and capital receipt ta mane kiman khini government e revenue pra receive kore and also kiman khini government e capital receipt kore ঠিক আছে so let's discuss first about revenue receipt. So when we talk about revenue receipt, what is revenue receipt? Revenue receipt hobo karne tate duta condition ase aru both these conditions should be satisfied at the same time. So what is revenue receipt? All those received by the government e jiman khini receive korise which do not create any liability nor does it create or nor does it reduce any asset, it is referred to as revenue receipt. Tamane government e jiman khini receive korise without creating any liability or without reducing any of its asset, and when both these conditions satisfies, we can say it as the revenue receipt. Mane for revenue receipt both these condition will have to be satisfied. What are these two condition satisfaction? It means for example government e revenue earn korise through taxation ঠিক আছে বা government e non tax revenue earn koribo pare. Non tax revenue mane ki hoy je ami helmet nipindhake bahiroloi goisu bahiroloi jaute ami helmet jeta nai pindha amar photo uthi goise aru he helmet nipindhar karne amak fine charge korise aru he jonto fine amak charge korise helmet nipindhar karne that will be part of non tax revenue ঠিক আছে আৰু what is tax revenue যেনেকৈ আমাৰ ইনকাম টেক্সৰ পৰা যিমানখিনি গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে ৰেভিনিউ জেনেৰেট কৰিছে বা ইনডাইৰেক্ট টেক্সেশ্যন থাকিব পাৰে তাৰ পৰা গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে যিমানখিনি ৰেভিনিউ ডেৰাইভ কৰিছে এতিয়া এই যেতিয়া আমি এই ৰেভিনিউ বেলাকৰ কথা পাতিছোঁ যেতিয়া তোমাক ফাইন লগাইছে ফৰ নট ওয়েৰিং আ হেলমেট গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে সেই পইচাটো তোমাৰ পৰা ডাইৰেক্টলি লৈ লৈছে আৰু সেই পইচাটো তোমাক ঘূৰাই দিবলৈ কাৰণে গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ কোনো লাইবিলিটি নাই so when government is earning revenue it do not have any liability of returning it back to you at any point of time so governmentor liability নাই it is a one way transfer from the citizen to the person so to the government. On the other hand, naiba it is a transfer from the citizen in the form of taxation to the government. And the government will not have to return to that person exactly after a point of time. Tamane, when we are talking about revenue, it does not create any liability on the government to return it in any future date. On the other hand, it do not reduce any asset of the government. Tamane yate government এই যে পইচাটো তোমালোকৰ পৰা বা সিটিজেনৰ পৰা যেতিয়া গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে ৰিসিভ কৰিছে গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ একো এসেট ডেপ্ৰিচিয়েট হোৱা নাই একো এসেট লুজ হোৱা নাই তাৰ মানে গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ নিজৰ এসেট নিজৰ ভাগে আছে এইখিনি হৈছে এক্সট্ৰা ডেট গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট ইজ আৰ্নিং উইদাউট এনি ক্ৰিয়েটিং লাইবিলিটি সো this is what the concept of revenue receipt is when revenue receipt revenue receipts are the receipt which do not create any liability on the government nor does it reduce any asset of the government it is said to be as revenue receipt. It a revenue receipt juntu ase এতিয়া যোনটো ৰেভিনিউ ৰিচিপ্ট আছে এই ৰেভিনিউ ৰিচিপ্টখিনি গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে বিভিন্ন চ'ৰ্চৰ পৰা কৰিব পাৰে নেমলি দেয়াৰ আৰ টু মেইন চ'ৰ্চেছ থ্ৰু উইচ গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট আৰ্নছ ৰেভিনিউ ৰিচিপ্ট ওৱান ইজ থ্ৰু টেক্স ৰেভিনিউ এণ্ড দি নেক্সট ইজ দ্য নন টেক্স ৰেভিনিউ হোৱাট ইজ টেক্স ৰেভিনিউ Tax revenue is sum total of money that government earns from in the form of taxation. যিকোনো form of taxation হ'ব পাৰে direct taxation, indirect taxation. So বিভিন্ন ধৰণৰ পৰা যিমানখিনি total sum of money through taxation government earn কৰিছে that will be coming under the head of tax revenue. On the other hand যিমানখিনি পইচা government non taxৰ through earn কৰিছে by charging fine হয়নে by charging any other sources, it is referred to as non-tax revenue. Tamane non-tax revenue is the receipt of the government from sources other than taxation is referred to as non-tax revenue. Etia kor pra poisa khini ahile tax revenue buli kobo pari ba kor pra poisa khini ahile non-tax revenue buli kobo pari sekhiniu ami ajir class-ote discuss korim. So for tax revenue there are two tax revenue there can be two broad head. One is direct taxation and another is indirect taxation. So direct taxation aru indirect taxation bujibo karne ami incidence of taxation aru impact of taxation or kotha buji pabo lagibo. আমি ডাইৰেক্ট আৰু ইনডাইৰেক্ট টেক্সেশ্যন বুজি পাবলৈ কাৰণে ইনচিডেন্স অফ টেক্সেশ্যন আৰু ইম্পেক্ট অফ টেক্সেশ্যন কি হয় বুজি পাব লাগিব সো হোৱাট ইজ ইনচিডেন্স অফ টেক্সেশ্যন ইনচিডেন্স অফ টেক্সেশ্যন ইজ দি মানে থিং অন হুইচ the first মানে the person on whom the মানে burden of taxation firstly falls at. So incidence is burden firstly falls on whom? So the burden of taxation kar mathat firstly pore, it is the incidence of taxation. Aru what is impact of taxation? Who bears the burden ultimately? Who bears the burden finally? So finally june tumar taxation or burden to loy, it is said to be as the impact of taxation. ঠিক আছে so যদি মই tax to pay কৰিব লাগে initially burden to মোৰ ওপৰত পৰে, this is called incidence of taxation. মই tax to pay নকৰি কাবাৰ তালেকে ঠেলি দিলু, it will be the impact of taxation যাৰ ওপৰত মই ঠেলি দিলু ঠিক আছে so when we are talking about direct taxation, for direct taxation the incidence and impact is on the same person. The incidence and the impact is on the same person. ঠিক আছে মই যদি ডাইৰেক্ট ট্যাক্সেশনৰ এটা ইজি এক্সাম্পল হল ইনকাম টেক্স মোৰ ওপৰত যদি ইনকাম টেক্স লাগিছে মানে আউট অফ দ্য আৰ্নিং আউট অফ দ্য টোটাল স্যালাৰি আই এম আৰ্নিং আ পাৰ্চেন্টেজ অফ ইট উইল বি চাৰ্জড এজ ইনকাম টেক্স সো ইনচিডেন্স ইজ অন মি first juntu burden of paying the taxation is on me hoine aru ultimately I cannot shift on to someone else. I will have to pay that taxation from my salary. So here the incidence jar uporot actually tax to dibo laga burden to porisil and ultimately june burden to actually bear korise, it is the same person, that is me. Gotike in case of direct taxation both incidence and the impact of taxation is on the same person. On the other hand for indirect taxes for example moi Britannia company hoy mur company uporot government suppose tumar তোমাৰ যোনবোৰ কুকিজ হয় বা বেকাৰী আইটেমছ হয় সেইবিলাকৰ ওপৰত গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে ট্যাক্সেশন বঢ়াই দিছে সো গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে যেটা ট্যাক্সেশন বঢ়াই দিছে that tax will have to be paid by whom? The Britannia company, right? Now the Britannia গটিকে ইয়াতে incidence of taxation is on the Britannia company, but what the Britannia company will do, because সিহঁতে যদি বেছিকে টেক্স নিজে পে কৰে সিহঁতৰ নিজৰ পকেটৰ পৰা গৈ আছে but in this case Britannia company will not bear the whole amount of the burden of taxation. What it will do is that it will shift it to the customers. Keneke customers ole shift kori dibo, either it will increase the price of the product or it will reduce the quantity of the product at the same price. Gotike this is called I was supposed to pay the tax, but incidence of taxation was on me or the Britannia company, but I have finally shifted it to whom? On the citizens. The citizen will now have to pay a part of the taxation that I will have to pay to the government. So, moi keneke citizen olo shift kori dim, either moi products belakor price borhai dim, naiba products or quantity komai dim at the previous price, so that anyway I am being benefited from it. ঠিক আছে. So, this is the whole concept. In case of direct taxation, incidence and impact is on the same person, but in case of indirect tax, incidence is on some other person and it can be shifted. Incidence of the taxation can be shifted to some other person, that is impact of taxation is finally on some other person. ঠিক আছে. I hope you are clear with the concept of incidence, on whom the burden actually falls, and impact is the person who ultimately bears the burden. বুঝি পাইছা? So, in case of indirect tax, the incidence and impact is on the different person. ঠিক আছে. Again, তো সেইখিনি ইয়াতে দিয়া আছে, যেনেকৈ আমি ডাইৰেক্ট টেক্সৰ ইট উইল বি ইনকাম টেক্স, কৰ্পৰেট টেক্স, ইণ্টাৰেষ্ট টেক্স এক্সেট্ৰা. দিছ বাৰ্ডেন কেনট বি শ্বিফটেড ইন টু চাম আদাৰ পাৰ্চন. দ্য পাৰ্চন অন হুম দ্য ইনচিডেন্স ফলছ উইল হেভ টু ফাইনেলি বিয়াৰ ইট. On the other hand, indirect tax again moi koa kotha khini koa ase yate this tax can be shifted to some other person, mane incidence and impact is on some different incidence and impact of taxation is on different person. Aru gotike yate monetary burden juntu ase it is borne by ultimately final users of the goods and services. Jeneke moi goods and services produce korisu, but ultimately I have shifted the burden on the people who will be finally using my goods and services. For example, yate goods and service tax kobo paru, basic custom duty buli kobo paru, etc. So, I hope you are clear. Corporate revenue, যোনটো আমি revenue receipt পঢ়িছিলোঁ direct আৰু indirect taxৰ আণ্ডাৰত. Direct tax ক'ৰ পৰা আহে আৰু indirect tax ক'ৰ পৰা আহে. I hope you are clear. So, this is how tax revenue is generated. Next, we will understand about what are the various types of non-tax revenue. Tamane, when the revenue is earned by the government not in the form of taxation from any of other sources, it is said to be as non-tax revenue. Now, there are various types of non-tax revenue like interest, profits, dividends, fees, etc. For example, fees buli moi jodi ko, suppose I am taking a government examination, hey government examination to moi lobo karne eta minimal fee pay koribo lagibo. So, that fee is an earning of the government. Eta government or bibhinno sources ase, jeneke the high court is a government property, right? While I am using the court for for my purpose, for my case, I will have to pay a fee for using the court for a certain period of time. So, jikono government properties jeti ami bebohar koru, ami eta minimal fee diu. Government examination ot bohibo karne ami eta minimal fee diu. That fee is actually a part of non-tax revenue of the government. তাৰপিছত profit and dividend. এতিয়া বহুতবোৰ পাব্লিক সেক্টৰ আণ্ডাৰটেকিংছ আছে অৰ PSUs আছে, যেনেকৈ ইণ্ডিয়ান ৰেলৱে হওক, LIC হওক, ভেল হওক, এইবিলাকৰ পৰা গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে কি হয় প্ৰফিট আৰ্ণ কৰে. তাৰমানে গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট যোনবোৰ পাব্লিক সেক্টৰ এণ্টাৰপ্ৰাইজেছ হয় বা আণ্ডাৰটেকিংছ হয়, সেই আণ্ডাৰটেকিংছবিলাক যিহেতু গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ আণ্ডাৰত হয়, therefore government takes a profit out of what it has earned in a particular year, like Indian Railways hawk, LIC hawk, BHEL hawk, etc. BHEL is again a company. So, it earns profit from the sale proceeds of the products of such public enterprises. So, a public enterprise belake jiman khini sales korise, to out of the total sale proceeds. So, sale kori pele jiman khini ultimately poisa paise, out of the total proceeds teoloke keeps a particular portion of it for keeps a particular portion of the profit for the government. ঠিক আছে. So, profit, a part of the profit is actually kept for the government. ঠিক আছে. Next is government also earns dividend. What is dividend? from its investment on the various company. So government e bibhinno company actually investment kori thoy aru he investment or prao government e monthly to ba yearly tumar he dividends belak earn kore. So these are part of non tax revenue of the government. Apart from this there are other non tax revenue jeneke tumar license fee tumi alage ji kono ekhon jodi license ulabo joa government tumar driving license hok tumar for starting a new for new business tumar trade license lagibo. So any license that will be provided by the government, to obtain that we also have to give a fee. That is again an earning of government's non tax revenue. Next to fines and penalties that I have already discussed. No parking korila fines lagi gol, helmet nipinila fine lagi gol, part of government non tax revenue. Next to hoise tumar e-cheats. E-cheats is that it is a claim of the government on the property jar kuno tumar hereditary aru nai. Suppose deutak mak deutak ehal asile, mak deutakor kuno lora swali nasile, deutak dhukai jwar mane ehal mane tumar couple asile, mak deutak kobo nwaru, ehal couple asile, manujon dhukai jwar pra jwar pisot gute proper to manu gorakir namole hoi gol aru manu goraki jetia dhukai gol, ultimately there is no legal hire of that property, tenehole he property is taken over by the government. So that is also a part of non tax revenue of the government, which is said to be as each-cheats. Tamane when a person dies without any legal hire, that property is being taken over by the government, referred to as each-cheats. ঠিক আছে. Next, gifts and grants ase, forfeitures ase, special assessment of the government ase. These are again non-tax revenue source of the government. Gift and grant government e belegor pra paise. Next, forfeitures mane it is again form of penalties. Forfeitures junbur hoy, forfeitures mane ki hoy, it is the form of penalties which are again imposed by the government when government e jikhini comply koribo disile, a person is not being able, a person or an organization is not complying with its rules and regulation, titia forfeitures charge koribo pare. Special assessment fee, special assessment fee mane jeneke tumar for example agote tumalokor ghoror area tur agot usorot metro station nasile, government has now built a new metro station near your home. So ultimately tumalokor juntu property hoy he property tur value badhi jay. Gotike government actually charge hoine, a payment actually have to be made by the owner of those properties jar value of the property has appreciated because of development activities that has been created by the government. ঠিক আছে. নাইবা তোমালোকৰ এটা ডাঙৰ vast area of land asile, he land to ene puri asile agote, but now all weather road has been developed by the government, or a railway station is developed by the government nearby, so that he mati hinir now the value has increased and you are able to sell that piece of land at a higher rate. So ultimately government e ki koribo tumalokor pora eta charge lobo because your property value of your property has appreciated as a result of the development created by the government. ঠিক আছে. So these are again form of non tax revenue of the government. ঠিক আছে. Now amar capital receipt, I hope clear hoye goise. Capital receipt neither creates liability nor reduces asset of the government, aru tare pora duta ami source dekhisu, tax revenue aru non tax revenue. In today's class we were also supposed to discuss about what is capital receipt. Now what are capital receipt? All those receipt of the government that either creates liability on the government or it reduces the asset, it is said to be as capital receipt. Yate ei dutai satisfy koribo nalage, any one of the conditions satisfy korileo it is referred to as capital receipt. Yate suppose government e borrow korise, yate government e borrow korise from the central government or some or from some foreign financial institution, tamane government e bortoman receive korise, but for that receive a liability has been created on the government that it has to pay back to that entity or an organization in a fixed date in future. So although it has received a sum of money now, there has been a liability created on the government that it will have to be returned in the near future. So liability create kore. So borrowing things are considered to be as a part of capital receipt. Naiba government ki hoy nijor junbur kisuman asset thake government he asset to bikri kori die. It is suppose there are various loss making public sector enterprises by the government. Junbur government ki kore private sector ok bikri kori die so that private sector higher capabilities or through he undertakings belak ba organizations belak revive koribo pare. So it is said to be as actually disinvestment. Jetia government non-profit making assets belak bikri kori die to private organization or keeps a share of it and gives its total mane largest ownership to the private entities. It is said to be as disinvestment. Mane government nijor asset ba property sale kori dise. So for a point of time government will earn from that kind of sales, hoine a money will be received, but that money is at cost of what? At the cost of reduced asset of the government. Government or eta asset naikia hoi goise, tare biporite poisa paise, but he poisa khini kami ki buli kau? Capital receipt buli kau. Why do we say it to be as capital receipt? Because government has lost a part of its asset due to receipt of such payment. Thik ase? So whether when either government has reduced either from those received of the government where it has created a liability or it has actually reduced asset of the government, it is said to be as capital receipt. Thik ase? I hope you are clear till this much. Now what are the various sources of capital receipt? The various sources of capital receipt are number one, borrowing, that I have already discussed. Jiman khini government borrow korise from various entities or organizations, state government, central government or pra loise, bank or pra loise, ba onno kisuman foreign financial institutions or pra loise. So borrowings on a whole is considered to be a capital receipt. Why it is said to be as capital receipt? Because it creates a liability on the government that it will have to be paid on some future date. On the other hand, recovery of loans. Jetia government he loan belak recover kore, a part of its asset gets depreciated, right? For example, government or account or tumar suppose 50 crores of rupees asile, 5 crores government 5 bosor agote tumar World Bank or pura dhare anisile. Now after 5 years the government will have to pay back that 5 crores to the World Bank. Ajir dinot, after 5 years when the government pays back it to the government, that 5 crores will be deducted or reduced from where? Government or asset. So when government makes recovery of the loans that it has taken in the past date, a part of its assets get reduced and therefore it will be part of capital receipt. Thik ase? It will be part of capital receipt. Again other receipt which again includes a part of capital receipt of the government is disinvestment. What is disinvestment? I have already discussed with you. When government sells a part of its asset, loss making asset to a private entity for making it work at the best possible way, hoine titia government ki korise nijor eta asset directly bikri kori dise. For a period of time it is earning a money, for a point of time it is earning a money, but that earning comes at the cost of loss of an asset of the government. Therefore it will be part of capital receipt. Again other receipt of tumar small savings. Small savings refers to funds which are raised from public in the form of post office deposit by national savings certificate, Kisan Vikas Patra. They are also treated as capital receipt as they lead to an increase in the liability. Tamane মানুহে যেতিয়া পোস্ট অফিস সেভিংস বেংকত পইচা সেভ কৰে বা ন্যাশনাল সেভিংস সার্টিফিকেটৰ থ্ৰুৰে পইচা সেভ কৰে, দিজ আৰ মানে আজিৰ ডেটত সাপোজ আজিৰ ডেটত মই 22 অগষ্টত মই পইচা সেভ কৰিছো ইন পোস্ট অফিস অৰ ইন দ্য ফৰ্ম অফ ন্যাশনাল সেভিংস সার্টিফিকেট। ঠিক আছে, মই এইখিনি বস্তু পোস্ট অফিসৰ লগত সেভ কৰি দিলো এই পইচাখিনি আৰু এইখিনি মই 5 ইয়াৰ্ছৰ কাৰণে কৰিছো। সেইখিনি মই 5 ইয়াৰ্ছৰ কাৰণে কৰিছো। So 5 ইয়াৰ্ছৰ কাৰণে government has got the money I have saved as fixed deposit in the form of small saving in post office or national saving certificate to be used on some future date, no problem. But government eta he 5 years or karne moi jikhini poisa save korisu post office or logot government aram se use koribo pare, investment or karne byabohar koribo pare. Tamane for a point of time the government has gotten earning in the form of post office saving bank or national saving certificate, but it has a liability. What is the liability? It will have to return back to the people with a higher rate of interest in the future date. So, all those receipt Zunbela government bortoman earn korise, but it has reduced an asset or it has created a liability on the government to pay it at some point of time in the future is said to be as capital receipt. With this, we are wrapping up today's live session. I hope tumaluke ajir classot dhuniyake ei topic khini jikhini ami porhalu buji pabole karone sokhyom hola. Thank you so much for attending this live session. For those who will be seeing this live session in the recorded version, please feel free to drop into the comment box your queries so that we can solve it as soon as possible. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Bye-bye.